From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
I'm Jonathan Ambarian in Helena. Montana's recent U.S. Senate races have brought in hundreds of millions of dollars in spending. But there's much less attention on the 2026 race, when Senator Steve Daines will be up for a third term. I'll have a closer look at the candidates who filed so far to challenge him.
When one of the animal organizations struggle, we all struggle.
Feeling the extra strain, how a shelter dedicated to helping homeless pets is looking for more space, and how that is felt by other services in Billings.
It's going to be an amazing facility for us, that's for sure.
And construction at last. A long-awaited fire station is on its way to Miles City, how the new building will help emergency crews and you. All those stories and much more coming up in the next hour. Good morning and welcome back to Montana This Morning on this Friday. I'm Charlie Klepps here, filling in for Haley Monaco with Miller Robson.
Good morning, bud.
Morning.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Going into the weekend.
I know.
Coming off a beautiful day yesterday. You know, we saw some record temperatures. In fact, let's go ahead and show you a couple spots. I'd mentioned yesterday there was a chance we could possibly hit the 70s because of that downslope flow, the windy conditions, the high pressure and the sunshine, and we did. We hit 70 yesterday, so that was a new record here in Billings. Miles City with a high of 70 and Baker with a high of 68, seeing records yesterday. There's a chance we could do it today. Less likely, not saying it won't happen. A couple things working against us. We do have some cloud cover out there. Also, we have this weak frontal boundary coming through. It may we actually may hit our highs in some areas today around lunchtime, give or take, and then may see those temperatures kind of cool down just a bit as the afternoon goes down. It won't be a big cool down, but across the weekend will be cooler, just still milder than normal, but not as warm as it has been. You can see the record high yesterday of 70 here in Billings, our low of 42, well above average as well. Top gust yesterday of 31 miles an hour. That's a big story today. More on that coming up. Dry month. But for the year, we're still pacing ahead. We do have some rain out there off to our east, to our north, and to our west. Even some mountain snow as this weak frontal boundary makes its way through. But temperatures right now very mild out there. We're in the 40s, 50s, even some areas in the 60s. We're at 59 right now here in Billings. We should be in the upper 20s. Feels like 59. Winds out of the southwest at about 10 miles an hour. We'll try to hit that 67 degrees today. May not get there because of the cloud cover. Some models even think we may not even get into the mid-60s today, but we'll keep an eye on that. But another day we're going to stay above average, and then we'll cool down a bit for the weekend, and then maybe a bigger cool down as we get into next week. Couple systems heading our way. We'll break it all down for you as we go along this hour.
I know we've talked about it. We kind of need a little bit of that snow now.
I mean, it's time. You know, with ski season opening up later this month, we definitely need some snow, and we'll see. Maybe next week, possibly.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks, Miller. Appreciate it. We're starting off your 6 o'clock hour on Capitol Hill. After a 43-day shutdown, parts of the federal government are returning to normal, and the Trump administration is rewarding some government workers who stayed on the job despite not getting paid. Jared Hill has more.
For the first time in weeks, Smithsonian museums, the U.S. Capitol, and national parks are welcoming visitors. Federal workers back on the job after the longest government shutdown in U.S. history.
Happy to be back in office and see the people in the streets and see the city life again.
The White House says more than 1 million federal employees who were not paid will start receiving back pay as early as Sunday.
I hope we can all agree that the government should never be shut down again.
Nearly 2 days since President Trump signed the bill to reopen the government, some are questioning if the fight, which Democrats say was over health care subsidies, was worth it.
They didn't really win what they wanted to win, so why causing all this pain?
Food aid could start flowing as soon as today for the 42 million Americans on SNAP. At the nation's airports, the journey to normal likely to spill into the weekend.
It's cleared up, so thank God for that.
It's important that the government does their job.
The FAA paused flight reductions at 6% instead of ramping up to 10%, with the shutdown now over. Meanwhile, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says TSA agents who went above and beyond will get a $10,000 bonus.
They're going to get a bonus check for stepping up, taking on extra shifts, for showing up each and every day.
President Trump has also suggested bonuses for the air traffic controllers who worked without pay while the government was closed. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The TSA bonuses will be paid from what Homeland Security Secretary Noem called carryover funding from the last fiscal year. The end to the shutdown begins a new fight over health care tax credits under the Affordable Care Act, which will expire at the end of this year. That would potentially raise premiums for millions of Americans. Meanwhile, back in Montana, the state Senate race could end up drawing a lot less attention than in previous years. So far, 3 Democrats have filed to challenge incumbent Republican Senator Steve Daines. MTN's senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian has more.
A year before the 2024 U.S. Senate race in Montana, voters had already been seeing political ads on their TVs for a full 3 months. But a year out from the 2026 race, there hasn't been nearly that level of attention on it. When Republican Senator Steve Daines won his second term in 2020, it was in one of the most closely watched and expensive Senate races in the country. This time around, national election analysts have largely projected Daines' seat as safe for Republicans. Daines has been a prominent ally of President Donald Trump, and Trump endorsed him back in April as, quote, the best to represent you. But Democratic candidates have started coming forward to challenge Daines. Riley Neal is a former publisher and state lawmaker from Livingston. Last year, she made a write-in campaign for U.S. House. Immediately afterward, she announced plans to run against Daines in 2026. She's been holding town hall events with voters around the state.
The first person to show up, they're going to get that engagement from Montanans. They're going to be able to listen to their concerns and take their concerns to D.C. and represent them authentically. I think that we've dropped the ball when it comes to being on the ground, especially in rural Montana.
Michael Blackwolf of Hayes is a first-time candidate. He works for the Fort Belknap tribes as a historic preservation officer. He says he decided to get into the race because he believes average Montanans aren't getting what they need.
Our main asset for Montanans right now are our children and our grandchildren, and we want to keep them here. We want them to be Montanans. But if we kind of keep going that road that we're going right now, you know, we're going to start losing our children and grandchildren.
The 2018, 2020, and 2024 Montana Senate races each saw tens or hundreds of millions of dollars in spending. There's no indication there will be anything like that type of spending in 2026. I asked the candidates if they thought it would be a bigger challenge to run against a well-known incumbent without that type of advertising behind them.
We don't need $150 million to win an election in Montana. We need to get on the ground and listen to citizens' concerns, because there's an entire delegation that's not doing that.
This is going to be a very hard race. This is going to be a very long race, but at the same time, I think this is also a very winnable race.
A third Democrat also filed campaign finance paperwork, Michael Hummert of Helena. In 2024, he ran against U.S. Senator Jon Tester in the Democratic primary. I reached out to Hummert's campaign, but haven't yet heard back. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
A Billings animal shelter says it's running out of space and time. Help for Homeless Pets is being forced out of its current building and now hopes to move into the old Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter space. City leaders say they're open to the idea, but there are still some hurdles before that can happen. Our Matt Carmack shares this story.
Go in, go in, go in. When one of the animal organizations struggle, we all struggle.
Help for Homeless Pets is feeling pressure since YVAS left its original facility.
If YVAS was closed from September 10th to September 22nd, we average in that amount of time about 189 animals. And so that's 189 animals that didn't come into our care that are now currently displaced.
The Help for Homeless Pets shelter on the south side of Billings has been operating in the same building for over 25 years. Angie Cook, the director, says they've overgrown tremendously, now having over 100 pets.
Well, the electrical isn't any good. The roof has a hole in it. You know, it's older. We've been here 25 years, so you know, landlords don't like to fix anything.
Angie said the ultimate goal is for Help for Homeless Pets to eventually own a brand new facility. But in the meantime, she's hoping to move into the original YVAS location off of Monad Road. It's a building that the city of Billings owns, and it's no longer affiliated with YVAS.
With the problems that Yellowstone Valley had, of course, you know, they can't do as much as they used to, so it's really put quite a extra strain on our operation.
YVAS is currently not under a written agreement with the city. Its board of directors and the city council plan on discussing a new agreement at the end of the month. However, Trinity Haverson, YVAS's director, says she does not plan on returning to the original location.
The city owns the building. We used to rent the building from the city. We did not see it as fit or safe for us to return as an organization in the time frame that we needed to be up and running.
Help for Homeless Pets' ultimate goal is to own a new facility and return to vet care like spay and neuter clinics, a service that both Trinity and Angie agree is a dire need in our community.
Nationwide, there's a shortage of veterinarians, and so that kind of produces this perceived too many pets, but really it's just a huge need.
But for now, both facilities are hoping for change.
Eventually, way down the road, I'd like to have our own facility, but that's in the future.
In Billings, Matt Carmack, MTN News.
New on Montana this morning, Custer County fire crews are reporting no injuries after a pellet stove sparked a destructive fire to a Miles City home. Custer County and Miles City and rescue crews say this all happened yesterday on Wittenhove Lane. When crews arrived on scene, they saw flames burning through the roof of the home, causing significant damage inside. Emergency crews say the combined efforts of both teams allowed firefighters to quickly contain the fire and prevent further spread. Custer County fire officials say the mutual aid from Miles City was crucial, as Custer County Fire had resources committed to 2 different prescribed burns elsewhere in the county at the time. The cause of the fire is being ruled as accidental. Meanwhile, some good news in Miles City. A $5 million plus revamp of the fire station is underway. This comes after voters passed bond for the construction 2 years ago after it was determined the fire station was unsafe. This morning, our Isabel Spartz has an update on that project.
It's a sigh of relief for the Miles City Fire Department.
It's super exciting for all of us.
Nearly 2 years after a $3.9 million bond passed to get a new fire station, the walls are finally coming up. Interim Fire Chief Eddie Kandutch says construction began in July after the old station was demolished.
We also had some damage with just some ground shifting and stuff. It wasn't designed for fire apparatus running on the concrete and everything all the time.
For over 5 years, the previous structure was deemed unsafe, and firefighters worked outside the building in modular homes.
There was a lot of cracks and stuff that were in a lot of the structural pieces of them cracking through and stuff.
The original construction plan included a second story and an additional apparatus bay that made construction costs too high.
We spent about just over a year working on those costs to get it changing the building size a little bit.
The new cost, with the help of additional funds, sits at over $5 million.
Having everything under one roof is nice to be able to have that cohesiveness moving around. We'll also have a nice training facility in there that we can use for bringing trainings here for the fire department or different things that we do for EMS.
Now they're looking towards the future. Construction will wrap up next June.
It's going to be an amazing facility for us, that's for sure.
In Miles City, Isabel Spartz, MTN News.